Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to talk about Gervonta Tank Davis. And out of nowhere, a foe and an opponent that nobody, I don't think, ever saw coming, Conor Benn. Really quick, if you like the videos, if you like the comment, please take this opportunity right now and subscribe to the channel. Also, while you're doing that, could you please hit that thumbs up button? It really does help and support the channel. Now, back to the video. Out of nowhere, I don't know how this began. I don't know why it began. The only thing I can say is I'm happy that it's begun. Of all the matches, I was never. Let me say it like this: Benn versus Eubank. Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that? Yeah, I'm gonna love that. Yes, I'm gonna love that. That is an amazing fight, amazing fight. But Eubank is too big, too strong, too skilled. You know who's going to win. You know who's going to win ahead of time. It's not going to last very long, but it's going to be an amazing fight. This, Gervonta versus Conor Benn, is interesting. Very, very, very interesting. Again, Conor's a lot bigger, like to 147. However, he moved up. He was at 140. So it's not like the craziest thing in the world for him to cut down. It could happen. Why not? Why not? And when you're talking about big fights, Conor Benn versus Gervonta Tank Davis. That's a pretty big fight. I'm not saying that's bigger than Benn versus Eubank, but I think, I think over here it's bigger. I think internationally it's bigger. I think Benn and Eubank is really big in the UK. I don't know how big it is outside the UK. Nobody's screaming Conor Benn's name over here. And Chris Eubank hasn't really made the name that he would like to make for himself over here. But Tank Davis and Conor Benn, that's the best of both worlds. You have America and you have London. You have the UK. That's the best of both worlds coming together. Both guys are ironically kind of similar. You know, light-skinned guys with a bunch of tattoos. You know, so marketing-wise, we're going to have a field day with these two. But it's interesting. You're talking about two power punchers. You're talking about a guy who's in Tank Davis who's really slick, a really skilled boxer with knockout power in both hands. And then you're talking about Conor Benn, who's a brawler, who likes to stalk his opponents. Interesting. Speed would clearly go to Gervonta Tank Davis. Power, that's interesting. I'm definitely going to lean toward Conor Benn with power. I'm definitely going to lean toward power. However, when it comes to tactics and boxing IQ, I got to go clearly with Gervonta Tank Davis. Footwork, I got to go with Gervonta Tank Davis. Speed, I got to go with Gervonta Tank Davis. However, with the size differential, because Conor Benn, yes, he was fighting at 140. However, he's been fighting at 147 long enough that where, you know, he's just a bigger guy. Excuse me. And then he was planning to move up to fight Chris Eubank. So he would definitely have to get that weight off, but he's had more than enough time to get some weight off. And I'm pretty sure he's been hitting the gym because all the frustration going on around him. And it's funny with both of the antics going back and forth. You know, they're attacking each other. And Conor Benn is saying, you know, listen, I don't hit women. Well, it comes to find out that Gervonta Tank Davis, his girlfriend made it up. And, you know, he's pretty much exonerated from that accusation and that claim. And all charges have been dropped on that. And then you have Gervonta Tank Davis saying, you do drugs and you're a steroid head. Now that has not been cleared up. That is nowhere near cleared up. That is still an ongoing thing and it's lingering and it's in the air. And there's really nothing to say back to that in terms of Conor Benn. There is no response to that. Everybody thinks that you do steroids. I personally refrained from making that video about, you know, the steroid use and everything like that. And I probably will. But I think I'll do something a little bit more broad and just talking overall sport as opposed to singling out one single individual. Because I definitely know for a fact there's a lot of people who juice in the sport of boxing. So with that being said, you know, and listen, I love the banter and the antics going back and forth. And I don't know if these two have ever seen each other in person. I doubt it. I don't know. You know, I know Tank is a whole lot smaller, so I don't know the likelihood that it could actually happen. I think Tank's power translates well enough at 140 that they could meet at like 142, 145, maybe 144. You know, a catch weight, because Conor's been, you know, he's been fighting at a heavier weight. You know, that weight's going to be hard for him to get off. But I think they could meet somewhere. And again, I think Tank's power would transfer past 140. I definitely think that. My only question is his speed, because that's the most important thing with Tank. I think he would definitely need his speed. I think he would definitely need his legs, because you are dealing with a bigger guy and a very aggressive big guy at that. So he would need his speed. But and I am not in no way comparing these two, but I could kind of see Tank walking Conor into something the same way he did Rolly. Because the reality is, Conor's been down before, more than once, and he, like Rolly, just walked into something. He can become very anxious. However, in the last two fights that he had, he's began to learn to slow down and pace himself, and realizing, hey, I have 10, 12 rounds. I don't need to get this done in round 2. I'll get there, you know, at my own pace. So it's just an interesting matchup. You have Conor, who likes to throw combinations, and Tank, he's more of a single shot type of guy, but he's very selective with where he's going to hit you. So when he hits you, it's going to hurt, and it's going to count. But also, where he hits you, not only is it going to hurt and count, but it's going to hurt, meaning he's putting money in the bank. So he's not just hitting you there just to hit you there. You know, it's not some random punch that he just threw because he hadn't thrown anything in the last 30 seconds. No, he's very conscious of what he's throwing at every time. Then you have Conor, who's just kind of like a windmill. Once he gets going and he gets in proximity, he's gonna let it go and unload, you know, a furious combination. So it's gonna be interesting. I think Tank has a better jab, although Tank is not huge on jabbing. I don't know why. He's a really good jab. But this fight could be so potentially explosive just because both guys are body punchers. Could you imagine Gervonta Tank Davis in a corner with Conor Benn? Like, in a corner with Conor Benn. That would be explosive. That would truly be explosive. The head movement of Tank and the power punches and ferocity of Conor Benn. The uppercuts of Tank, shovel hooks of Conor Benn. Interesting. Everything about this fight is interesting. I don't know where this goes. I don't know how long Conor will be gone. I know he has been itching to get back in the ring, to get back, you know, to doing some type of fight. But who knows when that's going to be. To my understanding, there was some 270-page legal document that they made up. So I'm assuming somebody's going to have to, unfortunately, go through all that and then determine, you know, what his fate is. Is he going to be suspended? What's going to happen with him? So Conor's in limbo. So I think this is, if for nothing else, I think this is just Conor just making his name relevant. Taking the light, the dim light on him and placing it on somebody else. Okay, well, I got busted for steroids, but he beats women. That kind of thing. Like, surely that's worse than what I'm doing. Well, number one, he was exonerated of that, as I stated earlier in the video. So you don't have that card to play, Conor. However, we do have the card to play that you failed not one but 2 drug tests. And that's not going away anytime soon. And as long as Chris Eubank Jr. has air and breath in his body, he's not going to let you forget it. So that's another thing that you need to resolve and handle. Although I do like the Tank fight more so than the Chris Eubank fight. I think it's more challenging in both parts. I don't think the Chris Eubank fight for Conor Benn is the most challenging thing in the world. But Gervonta Tank Davis and Conor Benn, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. That would be fireworks, and I would be so up for that fight. If you're talking about a fight that I'm going to pay for, I'm paying for that. I'm definitely paying for that. I am going to pay for that. I'm going to invite a bunch of people over. We're going to have popcorn, pizza. We're going to live it up because that's going to be explosive. Somebody's going to get brutally KO'd in that. And honestly, I just don't know who it'd be because, yeah, you know, you got the skill, but he's got the size. And one thing about Conor Benn is he's got an iron will. He's got a good chin. You can put him down, but you better believe the dude is getting back up. So I don't know. I would like to see it though. But you drop your thoughts down below. Would you like to see Conor Benn versus Gervonta Tank Davis? And how do you think that would go? Drop your thoughts down below. And as always, please like, please share, please subscribe to the channel.